If you want to know about all the different ways of doing intermittent fasting, then this video is just for you. Behold, the complete overview of fasting protocols. So click the like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. It's simple, you just stop eating. But for optimal results, you still want to pay attention to these different ways of doing intermittent fasting. So let's get to it. Number 1, the 24-hour fast. This is the most basic way of doing intermittent fasting. You fast for about 24 hours and then have a meal. It doesn't even have to mean that you're gonna skip an entire day of eating. Simply have dinner, fast throughout the day, and have another dinner. The idea is to simply impose this large caloric deficit onto yourself and gain the benefits of this longer fast. Number 2, the 16 and 8 type of intermittent fasting. The first people I learned this from were the Hodge twins, two twin brothers on YouTube who lift weights and talk about life. They were practicing the 16 and 8 style intermittent fasting.
You're gonna lose all your gains.
The 16 and 8 intermittent fasting was popularized by Martin Berkhan of Lean Gains. It's done for optimizing fat loss while still being able to train hard. It's simple, you fast for 16 hours and eat your food within 8. How many meals you have within that time frame is irrelevant, but any more than 2 to 3 isn't necessary. In my opinion, this should be the minimum everyone should aim for every day. There is no real physiological reason to be eating any more frequently, and you will definitely gain some of the benefits from this short little time frame. When I first did the 16 and 8 type of fasting, then I had my first meal around 12, then I had a workout in the afternoon, and I finished my eating window at 6 to 8 p.m. Number 3, the Warrior Diet. One of the first books I read about intermittent fasting was The Warrior Diet by Ori Hofmeckler. He talks a lot about the benefits of fasting on stress adaptation through the phenomenon of hormesis. Fasting not only increases your body's ability to tolerate stressors, but also hones your mindset and mental attitude. The Warrior Diet talks about ancient warriors like Spartans and Romans who would stay physically active throughout the entire day and eat mostly in the evening. On the Warrior Diet, you fast for about 20 hours, have a short high-intensity workout, and eat your food within 4 hours.
Madness.
Number 4, 1 meal a day or OMAD. This is probably one of the easiest ways of doing it. You simply eat once a day and you're done. On OMAD, you usually fast about 21 to 23 hours and eat your food within 1 to 2 hour time frame. I myself have been eating OMAD for maybe like 3+ years, and I must say that it's really enjoyable and easy to stick to. OMAD is great for fat loss, but it's not ideal for muscle growth because of the limited time for protein synthesis. I've been able to pull it off slightly, but it's still a very slow process. Number 5, the 36-hour fast. Fasting for over 24 hours is where all the magic begins to happen. The longer you stay in a fasted state and experience energy deprivation, the more your body is forced to trigger its longevity pathways that help to mobilize fat stores, boost stem cells, and recycle old worn-out cellular material through the process of autophagy. Generally, it's gonna take at least a day to see significant signs of autophagy, but you can speed it up by eating low carb before you start the fast, exercise on an empty stomach, and consume some herbal teas that stimulate this process. Fasting for 36 hours isn't difficult at all. You simply have dinner the previous night, fast throughout the next day. Maybe you get a little bit hungry at dinner time, but you skip it, you fast throughout the night, and then you have only just a few hours until you reach the 36-hour mark. Things that make fasting easier are sparkling water, mineral water, black coffee, green tea, and some herbal teas. Number 6, 48-hour fasts. Once you made it to the 36-hour mark, then why not go until 48 hours? Fasting is only difficult in the first adaptation phase. Once you cross this chasm and go into deeper ketosis, then it becomes so easy. The most difficult part of any extended fast is probably within the 24-hour mark. And it is difficult just because you're simply used to having food at that particular time. If you skip that urge, then your body's gonna simply adapt and you're gonna get used to it.
You are not used to the truth.
Number 7, extended fast for 3 to 7 days. It's been shown that 72 hours of fasting can reset the immune system in mice. This turns on pathways of stem cells which generate blood cells and promote immunity. Fasting for 3 to 5 days is also the optimal time frame for autophagy, after which you begin to see diminishing returns. Fasting for 7 days and beyond isn't needed in most cases. The majority of people don't need to fast any longer than that because you may start losing lean muscle tissue. I myself aim for at least 3 to 4 of these extended fasts every year to really stimulate the body's healing process and keep it clean. I'm already eating a healthy diet and I don't need to fast for that long. but I still do it to gain these amazing health benefits. But this is not professional medical advice, and you have to consult your own physician if you want to do something like that. Number 8, alternate day fasting. There are also approaches like the 5-2 diet and alternate day fasting, which include fasting but allow the consumption of about 500 calories on days of abstention. Those small amount of calories are only for increasing compliance. I wouldn't say that these things are ideal because you're continuing to eat at a severe caloric deficit and you won't gain all of these benefits of fasting fully. You may get some of them, but not entirely. A complete abstention with 0 calories would still definitely be much more effective and powerful. These protocols of alternative fasting or the fasting mimicking diet, they can be used and they do have their place. But ideally, you would still want to end up being able to handle these things. Number 9, the fasting mimicking diet, or FMD. You eat about 800 to 1000 calories a day for 2 to 5 days of the month. Then you have a refeed day on day 6 and return to a normal eating schedule. The fasting mimicking diet has been shown to reduce blood pressure, lower insulin, and suppress IGF-1, all of which have positive benefits on longevity. However, these effects are probably because of the severe caloric restriction. On the FMD, you eat low protein, moderate carb, moderate fat, and the foods include mushroom soup, olives, kale crackers, and some nut bars. Fasting with 0 calories would be probably more effective, and you will maintain more muscle tissue thanks to staying in deeper ketosis. To not lose unwanted muscle mass with the FMD, you would want to adjust the macronutrient ratios towards more of a ketogenic template by lowering the carbs and increasing the fat a little bit while still staying under 1000 calories. Number 10, the protein-sparing modified fast. The protein-sparing modified fast, or PSMF, is a low-carb, low-fat, high-protein type of diet that helps to lose weight really fast while promoting muscle maintenance. The protein-sparing modified fast will probably maintain more muscle than the fasting mimicking diet, but there's still the danger of getting kicked out of ketosis because of consuming too much protein. To avoid that, you would want to keep your protein slightly more moderate and increase the fat a little bit again. Aim for about 0.8 to 1.0 grams per pound of lean body mass, and in total still stay under 1000 calories per day. Number 11, fat fasting. Consuming only fat during a fast isn't gonna stop ketosis, but it may interfere with the autophagy process a little bit. Some types of autophagy, like chaperone-mediated autophagy, can salvage ketones and maintain their effects, but it's not as effective as macroautophagy, which requires the abstinence from all calories. A fat fast can be useful for promoting adherence and making sure you don't quit halfway through. During fat fasting, you can have a bit of bulletproof coffee, 1 to 2 teaspoons of MCT oil or some butter, but anything with carbs or protein in it like bone broth, coconut milk, heavy cream, coconut water or the like will break the fast. Number 12, bone broth fasting. Bone broth has some amino acids in it that technically can inhibit autophagy, but if you only drink a single cup, then you'll probably suppress autophagy for just a few hours and then get back into it quite shortly. A single cup of bone broth at the most difficult part of the fast can help you get through it and push on for a longer fast, but you don't want to become dependent of it. Bone broth also has some electrolytes and minerals, which is great for avoiding brain fog and lethargy. Number 13, dry fasting. The idea is that if you deprive yourself from water, your body will start to produce its own by converting the triglycerides from the adipose tissue into metabolic water. Hydrogen gets released as a byproduct of beta oxidation. Dry fasting is said to also have some autophagic effects, but there's not a lot of research done on it, so at your own risk. Number 14, juice fasting. Juicing vegetables and fruit makes you consume quite a significant amount of carbohydrates and fructose, which will all interfere with both ketosis and autophagy quite hard. You can definitely lose a bunch of weight with juice fasting, but most of it is gonna be muscle and lean tissue. That's why you want to be in ketosis whenever you are fasting. So juice fasting is gonna be quite bad for you. If you want to suppress hunger or have something to drink that doesn't taste like water, then have a cup of sparkling water with 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. It's not gonna stop the fast and actually has great health benefits. Number 15, time restricted feeding. Lastly, I wanted to talk about the differences between intermittent fasting and time restricted feeding. Time restricted feeding emerged as a concept after the popularization of circadian rhythms and chronobiology, Essentially, you simply time restrict your daily food consumption. Most people who are doing daily intermittent fasting are simply time restricting their eating. For something to be categorized as a fast, it would probably have to last for longer than 24 hours. Doing it intermittently means that you simply cycle between eating and not eating. But everything else, such as the warrior diet or the 16 and 8 type of fasting, is simply time-restricted feeding, if you keep the terms right. Time-restricted feeding has also been shown to prevent metabolic disorders in mice who are fed a high-fat diet without reducing calories. The mice who are fed their food within 8 hours didn't get obese or develop disease compared to those who ate the same amount of calories with no time restriction. This shows that the act of simply time restricting your food intake has major benefits on general health and body composition. The difference may be small, but it's still there. Like I said, everyone should aim for at least time restricting their food within 8 to 10 hours by the minimum and fast for about 16 hours every day. It doesn't matter what type of intermittent fasting you're doing, as long as you still do it. If you want to learn more about intermittent fasting, then check out my full guide to intermittent fasting free ebook. But other than that, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you click the like, subscribe, notification bell as well. My name is Seem. Stay optimized, stay empowered.